Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Victoria Yanu, the CEO of Victa Designs International. Today I'd like to teach us on how to make 3 different bags. The first one is a souvenir bag with a zip. The second one is hectagon bag, while the third one is a 5-side bag with Ankara. The 5-side bag will be with Ankara, that's African fabric. Now, before I proceed, if you're joining me for the first time, you're welcome. And I would like you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't only subscribe, kindly click on the notification bell so that you can be getting updates on our new videos. Thank you. So now we'll move to the material. Now let's move to how to make a 4-corner bag. I'll list the materials. Materials needed: you need your marco, you need your carry board, you need your punch, you need your D-ring, you need your adjuster. Instead of D-ring, you can also use your chain. If you're using chain, you can use chain hanger. You need your pin. If you're in Southwest, they call it tokotaya, husband and wife. So you can ask for tokotaya in the market, or you ask for pin. Okay. You need your pencil or pen. You need your super glue. This is also super glue. I'm using this, but in case you can't find this, you can use this type of super glue. You get it in the store. Okay, this one is inside the carton. Let me show you the carton. So this is the carton. It may not be the exact this one, different brand. So this or this, but I prefer this. Okay, you need your mallet. This is mallet. If you don't have mallet, you can use hammer. You also need your hammer. Also, you need tape ruler, you need tape rule, you need hanger, you need zip teeth. Okay, you need zip clothes, you need lining. You can use lining, you can use suede. So it depends on what you want and what is available where you are. You need leather. Any work that we do, kindly know that any work that we do with leather, you can use Ankara. Ankara is African fabrics. You can use Ankara. That is African fabric for any work, any bag design that we use leather for. You can use African fabrics for it. Okay. So this is the leather. So it depends on the color. This is color black. You need your straight scissors, and you need your thread, you need your candle wax. If you don't have this, remember that I said that you can use your tape. You need your gum. The gum comes in different type. This one is, what's even the color? This one is light. You can use shoemaker gum. This is also a shoemaker gum, but the color is different. So it's still the same thing. The only difference is that this one would dry easily. When you apply it on a leather, when you're using it, it dries easily. While the other gum, the shoemaker gum, let me show you the color. Okay, this one, you may need to wait for some minutes for it to get dry. So you can use, in case you don't see this color, so that you won't be looking for light gum, so you can use this also. And you can ask them to mix the two together for you. It's possible they mix the two, so you can use this or you use this, anyone you're able to find in the market. Gum is gum. The only difference is the time that the gum will dry. Okay, now we'll move to the measurements. So for the measurement, on your carry board, you first measure your carry board. On your carry board, you measure 18 by 8 inches. This is a portable 4-corner bag. If you want it to be bigger than this, you need to add your own measurement. Don't forget that you can add to it and you can reduce. Okay, so this is 18 by 8 inches. After you measure your carry board, you don't measure your marco. You don't measure on the marco because it's not straight. You now place your carry board on your marco. I hope you understand me. You place your carry board on your marco. When you place it on it, don't use biro. You can actually use it, but one thing is just that your pen will not write again. So don't use pen. Instead of that, you can use your punch to mark it. If you don't use your puncher, you can use nail. If you have nail, you can use nail to mark it. You can use pencil, but preferable you use puncher. If you don't have this puncher, you can use shoemaker shuka to punch it. That one too looks like a puncher. Okay, so after placing it on your marco and you cut it out, after you cut it out, on this marco now you have 18 by 8 inches. On this one you have 18 by 8 inches also. So the next thing to do on your carry board, this is what we're using for the lining, while we use this for the leather. If you're using Ankara African fabrics, you use African fabrics on this, or you use African fabrics on this, and use this one is for the inner. So now what I will do is that the lining must not be up to the body. You need to reduce it so that it will not be showing. To reduce it, you minus 0.6 inches on your carry board. I hope you are getting me. You minus 0.6 inches. I hope you can see what I'm doing now, because this is a gummy bag. Okay, and this gummy bag is 90% gummy, 10% sewing. We'll still move to the 100% gummy, 100% sewing. So it's a gradual process. Okay, you rule it. When you rule it, I've ruled my 0.6 inches. This is 0.6 inches. I've ruled it. The next thing I will do now is to take my straight scissors and cut it out. So after cutting it out, you don't need this any longer. After cutting it out, please don't make the mistake of not minusing the 0.6, please. Okay, so after cutting it out, you check the remaining measurement. You have 17.2 inches on this. 17.2 inches. 17.2 inches. So now that you have your 17.2 inches, On this one, don't forget you have 18.8 inches. You're not cutting anything out from this. 18 by 8 inches. Why this one you have 17.2 by 8 inches. The next thing to do now is to divide your carry board. You first divide the carry board. You can first divide your marco, or you first divide the carry board. First divide the carry board so that you know how to divide your marco. Kindly note that your bottom, the bottom of your carry board and the bottom of your marco must be the same. If you are using 2.5 inches on carry board, it must be 2.5 inches on your marco. The only place that must not be the same is the front and the back. The front and the back must not be the same, but the carry board, the marco, the bottom, marco and carry board bottom must be the same. The front and the back of the two must not be the same. The bottom must be the same, please. Okay, now we'll move to the measure. We'll continue with the measurement. The front, you know, we have 17.2. The bottom, you first of all calculate it. You can use your calculator. You first of all calculate, you have 17.2 inches. The bottom will be 3.5 inches. I'm using, is a choice. You can use 10 for your bottom. You can use 6, but I'm using 3.5 inches. Okay? If you're using bottom 3.5 inches, then the next thing, 17.2 minus 3.5 inches. Here I have 0.7. Then remain 6, that's 3, that's 13.7 inches. You are left with 13.7 inches. So 13.7 inches divided by 2, that would be 6, 13.7 inches. The best thing to do, this is 13.7. Okay, this is my 13.7. Then I will divide it into 2. Just take it like this and fold it. Just fold it. Okay. So this is 6.8 inches. That is 6.8 inches. That will be your, the front will be 6.8. The back will be 6.8. The bottom will be 3.5 inches. So now we'll do our measurement. Now don't forget the front will be 6.8 inches, the back 6.8 inches, the bottom 3.5 inches. So now you first of all remove your front and the back. Before the remaining will now be your bottom. So take your ruler and rule it. So this is 6.8 inches. This is our back. This is our front, 6.8 inches. Why this is the bottom, 3.5 inches. It it can't be up to 3.5. You know, tape rule is not complete. So that's 3.3. So you have to note it. You have to note it. It can't be up to 3.5. That's it. I hope you can see it. So if you're not getting 3.5 again, that was why I said you need to measure the front, the back first. The remaining one will be the bottom because the tape rule is not complete. You know, the 3.8, we're using 3.8. If we use 3.7, this bottom will be equals to 3.5 inches. Do you understand? If we use 3.7, okay, let's use 3.7 so that we can have our 3.5 inches. So that you can see what I'm saying. Okay, you clean this. Now if you're using 3.7, that's why I said this training will be a raw training. It's a raw teaching where we rub mine together, okay, for you to get. There's some little error that you can actually adjust. Okay, this is the 3.7. okay, so I'll measure 3.7 from this side also. So this 6.7 inches. 6.7 inches. Okay, the front is 6.7 inches, the back is 6.7 inches. Now we roll it and measure the bottom again. Okay, so perfect. Can you see it? These are 3.5. Can you see it? So if you get 3.3, after you subtract, you add, you do everything, you are right. If you use 6.7, you get 3.5 inches. If you use 6.8, you will get 3.3 inches. So now we have 3.5 inches for the bottom, 6.7 inches for the front, 6.7 inches for the back. The next thing to do now, you take your puncher. You can use your puncher or you use your nail. You take your ruler, you place it on it. Don't forget to do this. If you don't do this, the shape will not come out. So for you to get the shape, you rule it with it, not to cut it out. So you rule it with it. Okay, place it on the other side and rule it. If you're making any gummy or padded bag, you need to do this so that you can get your shape. Then you fold it. Can you see it? The shape is already coming out. Now is a 4-corner bag. This is it. Can you see it? Okay. Now the next thing to do, you now get your measurement on the marco. So for the marco, you know we have 18 by 8 inches. So 18 minus 3.5 inches. If we minus 3.5 from 18, that will give you 18, 3.5, 18, 3.5. Okay, 3.5 minus 18. So here we have 0.5. we have 0.5. Here we have 4, so that's 14.5. So from the 14.5, don't forget that tape rule is not like the 1, 2, 3 that the calculation that we did now. So you remove 0.2 from your tape rule from the 14.5. Don't forget this, so that you don't make the mistake that we made on this. I will have to start cleaning and adjusting the measurement. Do you understand? Okay, now we have 14.3 inches. It's actually 14.5, but we're dividing 14.3 inches. 14.3 inches divided by 2 to give us the front and the back. This one is 6.7. So now 14.3 divided by 2. You don't need to use your calculator on this one. Just take your tape rule. This is your 14.3. Just fold it. Okay. So you have your 7.1 and a half. Use 7.1 inches. Okay. Use 7.1 inches. Do you understand? So we are using the front will be 7.1 inches, the back will be 7.1 inches. Do you understand? So you measure it 7.1. Okay, you mark it 7.1. Okay, 7.1. You take your ruler and mark it. Okay, so this is our back. You turn it again, 7.1. You mark it, 7.1. Mark it, 7.1. You mark it. You take your ruler, okay. So here, this is our bottom. Okay, this is our front. Our bottom, this is our front. So the next thing to do now is to take your puncher and your ruler, just place it on the line and punch it and rule it so that it can give you the shape. Okay, I hope you can see what I'm doing. That's the same thing that you will do on your. Can you see it? I hope it's clear. Okay. So we have this. We have this. This is how it will be. Can you see it? My carry board. My marco is taller than my carry board. Can you see it? Okay. The next thing to do now, we'll move to the gumming parts. We'll move to the gumming part. I hope you understand this very well. So we'll move to the gumming part now. Okay. So now the next thing to do is to get our side. To get the side, you take your carry board, you measure the bottom. Can you see what I'm doing? You measure the bottom, that's 3.5. by the length of this. That's 6.7. 3.5 by 6.7. So you measure it 3.5 by 6.7. So after you measure it, you rule it and then cut it out. So you're not using this. Okay, this 3.5 by 6.7. 3.5 by 6.7. Okay, 3.5 by 6.7. You don't place it on your marco. When you place it on your marco, you cut it out. You don't put extra space, no need for that. You cut the exact size and then you cut 2 out. Just a moment, please. So now you cut out 2 of it. So this is our side. For the zip flap, you measure we'll cut it on the leather. So the next thing to do now is we'll start the gumming part. So the carry board is the lining. So you apply gum on your carry board. Okay, before that, first cut out your lining. You place your carry board on your lining. When you place your carry board on your lining, you make sure you leave like 1.5 inches on the fore side. 1 to 1.5 inches on the fore side. I hope you can see what I'm doing. This is it. Can you see it? So the lining is more than, can you see it? It's more than the carry board. So we'll continue by applying the gum. You wait. This is a top bond, so within 2 to 3 minutes the gum will dry. Can you see it? Okay. So you turn it. You place it on your lining. You place your carry board on your lining. Turn it. You stretch it. Okay. I hope you can see what I'm doing. You open the other part also. Then you turn it. Can you see it? When you turn it, you now apply your gum. Apply gum around. Don't forget that you can use the shoemaker gun. That's the brown one, and you can mix the two together. You can use Ankara, that's African fabrics, or you use leather. Okay, so you wait for maybe 1 minute. The next thing to do now is to fold the lining, the excess lining on it. So for this angle, for the angle, for you to get it, you have to do like this. Can you see my hand? You wipe. Okay. There's some gumming bag that you may need to notch the side, but this one is straight, so you don't need to notch the side of this one. This is it. Can you see it? Just a moment, please. So while trimming it, you need to be careful. Okay. Can you see it? I hope you can see it very well. Okay, so the next thing to do now is that I will gum the side. So before gumming the side, I will gum this is the back, this is Marco. So if it is Ankara that you want to use African fabric, this is where this is one that you cover with your Ankara, but I'm using leather, black leather. So what I will do now is that I will place my marker on the letter. And cut it out. So the same way you leave like 1 to 1.5 inches on the lining is the same way you do on the leather. So when I cut it out, you see it. I hope you can see what I'm doing. So this is it. Can you see the space? So the next thing to do now, can see I will not apply gum on this part, because if I need to put bottom, this will show me the part where to put the bottom. So I will turn it. Okay, I will apply my gum on the marker. Need to apply the gum very well, that there won't be a space where there is no gum. Okay. I hope you can see what I'm doing. After watching this video, you should be able to make your own 4-corner gummy bag perfectly. Okay, I hope you can see what I'm doing. Just need to take your time. Can you see it? Just put it aside and take your leather. Then you apply gum on the leather also. Okay, as you can see, can you see it? Okay. So the next thing to do now, you take your marco and you place it on it. I hope you can see. So you turn it. Next thing to do is to apply gum around here. Okay. So you wait for 2 to 3 minutes. While we're waiting for this to get dry, we'll move to the gumming of the side. For the side, we'll use lining and leather on the side. So we'll first of all cut out the leather. We'll also cut out the lining. So I'll cut out the lining first. Can you see what I'm doing? Okay. Hope you can see me. This is it. So I cut out excess. Now I folded it into 2, so this is it. Okay, now I will cut out the leather also. I'll cut the leather out from this side, so you need to know how to manage your leather. You need to know how to manage your leather. I'll fold it also into 2. Then I'll cut it out. I'll divide it into 2. Okay, can you see it? So the next thing is to gum it, but before gumming it, don't forget the one that we apply gum on. So you fold the leather. Don't forget the mallet. So now, can you see it? Okay, this is it. The next thing to do is to trim it. So while trimming it, you need to be careful. Okay, then you turn the back of the leather. If you have mallet, this is mallet. If you have mallet, you can use it, but if you don't have mallet, mallet is more preferable. If you don't have mallet, you can use your hammer. If you're using your hammer, you only beat it. You'll not be doing it bah bah. No, it will not be a serious one, but I'm gonna use my mallet. Okay, so we'll gum the side also. We'll gum the side. It's already forming, right? Okay, we're almost there. So for the lining, you need to pay more attention on this part. So on the lining, you take your gum, you apply little gum on it. Can you see where I applied the little gum? This is how the lining will be. Okay, I apply the little gum at the top of the lining, then you will fold it. I hope you can see what I'm doing. You fold it. So you do the same on the, can you see it? Sorry, you do the same on this one also. Apply your gum. Fold it. Okay, you can see this one I didn't apply the gum very well, so you need to apply the gum very well. So now you apply gum on your marco. That's the side. Apply gum on it. Apply gum on the leather. Okay. Let's put this aside. Do the same thing. So now you take your marco. Can you see it? Can you see that I leave some space, like 0.5 inches? So you leave like 0.5 inches at the top of the marco. Okay, can you see? Let me show you very well. This is what I'm saying. This is the down part. This is the upper part. Okay, this is like 0.5 inches. So next thing to do is to apply gum. Apply gum here. So you wait for some minutes. So while we're waiting for that one, we do the same thing on this one. You leave like 0.5 inches. Apply gum. Okay, can you see it? Now the next thing to do is to fold. I'm not folding the other part, it's only this part that I will fold. Okay. This is how you fold it. Can you see it? Can you see it? I didn't fold the other part, it's only the upper part. Okay. So now the next thing to do is to apply. When you're applying gum here, you need to be careful. Okay, apply small gum here. Okay, can you see it? Okay, I've applied gum here. So let me fold this one also. Apply gum also. Now you now take the lining. This is the lining. You know, you've already folded the tip of the lining. You now place the lining. Can you see it very well? You place the lining. It won't reach, maybe like 0.1 inches. Okay. Can you see? Now you apply gum. That's why the bag is 90% gummy and 10% sewing. We'll still move to the one that is 100% gummy and 100% sewing. You watch that on my next video. Okay. Place it aside. So you do the same on this one also. Apply gum. I hope you're getting it. So when you're able to make your own, you can send the practical work to me. You can send it to my WhatsApp so that I can check for you. Then you can snap the step by step also and send it to me. So now the next thing to do is to cover it. Okay. Then I will trim the lining. This is it. Can you see it? So when we move to the sewing part, you see where the part to sew. We'll fix our D-ring for the long handle. Okay. So we'll do the same on this. I've also cut the excess part on this one. Okay, so this is it. So for now, to get the zip flap, you measure this 8 inches. 8 inches. The side, the bottom is 3.5 inches. Majorly, if you are cutting a zip flap, that's where to fix a zip on either gummy bag or normal sewing bag. Your bottom must be equal to your flap. Your flap must not be more than the bottom. You know, you're cutting 2 flap, so which means 3.5 divided by 2. This place will be 1.7 and this place also will be 1.7. But on this, you know, we need to fold it. We need to sew it on this. So we're cutting 2.2 inches because we have to fold it. We have to fold it. So we'll cut 2.2 inches by 8 inches. 2.2 by 8 inches. We'll cut out 2, the one for this side and the one for the other side. If your bottom is 6 inches, your flap should be 3.5 inches by 2. 3.5 inches by the wideness of your bag. 3.5 inches by the wideness of your bag. multiply by 2. Multiply by 2. 3.5 inches. That is if your bottom is 6 inches. But this is 3.5 inches. So we are cutting 2.2 inches. Okay. Leather. For the long handle, we'll cut, because we're folding it inside, and the bag is not a big bag. You can use chain handle with it. You can use chain, or you use leather. If I'm using leather, because the bag is not a big bag, so normally if your bag is a big bag, you can use 3 inches for your long handle, or 2.5 inches if you're folding it inside. If you're not folding it, if the bag is a big bag, you can use 2 inches. If it is a small bag, you can use 1.2 inches or 1 inches. Now this is a small bag. What I will do is that I will not cut up to 2.5 inches. I'll cut 2.2 inches because I'm folding it inside. And long handle, you can use chain or you use leather, but I'm using leather. Chain, I will use chain to design it. Okay. For the short handle, I'm using this ready-made circle handle. Okay. You can also use leather. It's not that you can't use leather. If you like, you can use leather. I'm using this. So now I will measure the long handle. So you cut it out. So that's what I'm doing now. So I'm using the total length of my leather. That's 54 by 2.2 inches. The next thing to do now is that we'll move to the sewing part. So that's what we'll do. We're moving to the sewing part. Now the next thing to do is to do the sewing of the 4 side part. So this is the long handle. So I want to sew the long handle. You fold this part, because I'm folding it. You can see your long handle like this, but I'm folding this one. So you fold. Can you see what I'm doing? So you fold it. When you fold it, then you fold it together. Can you see it? Okay. So now you place it on your machine. Then you start the sewing. So now this is the body. So next thing to do now is that, you know, it's 90% gummy and then 10% sewing. So I will sew the edges of this bag round. I'll sew the edges round. So after sewing this, okay, can you see what I'm doing now? You apply oil for easy after sewing the edges of the marker round, the next thing to do now is that we'll fix the handle. We are using this circle handle. That's what we're using. You can use letter, but we're using this circle handle. So to fix the handle, you measure letter. You measure 4.5 by 2.5 inches. This is 2.5 by 4.5 inches. You cut out 2. This is it. So you fix it. Can you see it? When you fix it on it, next thing to do is that you take your marker. Can you see it? You can pin it and then you can sew it. So I'll sew it. So you sew it at the tip. So on this side I have 2.9 inches. On this side I have 6.5 inches, 2.6.5. So I'll move it, but it has to be in this middle. So from here, okay, 2.7, perfect. Now you press it down so that it doesn't move. Okay, so I'm sewing it on the same line where I sew the bag round. So I'm sewing it there. That's what I'm doing right now. I hope you can see what I'm doing. You need to be careful while sewing it. Don't forget to apply oil. Zip close, the next thing to do is that you measure your, can you see it? You measure from here, okay, and then you turn it, then you leave like 3 inches. So to sew it, you open the zip seat, then, can you see what I'm doing? You start sewing from the need to apply your oil. You turn it. So the measurement for the zip clothes, what we did was that the lining. What I did was that I measured, to get this, you measure the wideness of your bag, that is 8 inches by 2.5 inches, 8 inches by 2.5 inches, 8 inches by 2.5 inches. So you cut out 2, because we're fixing the zip clothes on the lining. So if you're trying to sew the second part, you need to be careful so that you don't sew it. You just place your leather, then it's very easier for you to sew this side. So sewing the other side, you need to turn it, you bend it. This is it. Can you see what I'm doing? So that the two zip doesn't face the same direction. So you have to bend it. Okay, when you get to the edge, you turn it. So the next thing to do now is to, can you see it? Okay. Now you fix the, after this, you fix the zip flap on your carry board. That's the line. The thing to do is to sew the zip flap on the lining, that is the carry board. If you're sewing the zip flap on the lining, what you need to consider is that the side, if you can remember, the side is 3.5 inches and we have 2.5 inches here. So which means the zip flap, after sewing it on the carry board, you must be left with 1.7 inches on the both sides. That will give you 3.5 inches. Because if it's more than that, the side will not be accurate with it, and if it's lesser than that, the side, you may need to shape the side. It will not be four corner, you have to shape the side. So now to sew it on the carry board, you measure 0.5 inches. Okay, you measure 0.5 inches. I hope you can see what I'm doing. You mark it. You mark it. So on that 0.5 inches, I will place the leather on it. On the 0.5 inches, that's where I'll place the leather. Okay, then I'll start the sewing. Don't forget to apply oil on it. So that's what I'm doing right now. So now the next thing to do after sewing it is that I will fold it. This is it. So I will sew it from here, but before sewing it, I will have to measure it to be sure that it's accurate. That is, I will be left with 1.7 inches. If not, I will have to lose it and measure again. So now I have 2 inches. So I have to sew on 0.3 inches. I have to sew on 0.3 inches so that the remaining part will be 1.7 inches. So you can take your and mark it. So I already know where to start the sewing from. So you fold it very well. Apply my oil. The thread that I'm using is size 3 shoemaker thread. Size 3 shoemaker thread, and the needle is size 23. So make sure you lock it very well. I hope you can see what I'm doing. This is it. Can you see it? Let me show you very well. Can you see it? Let me show you the front. Can you see it? Okay. Now let's measure it to be sure of what we're left with. Okay, can you see it? Very perfect. So if you don't have 1.7, you have to lose it and measure it again. Okay, so now we'll sew the other part also. So after sewing the other part, we'll fix the zip teeth, do the finishing gumming. So I'll measure 0.5 inches on this side also. I hope you're getting it. So now I'll place it on it. Okay, and start the sewing. Please take your time to watch the video very well. If it takes you to watch the video 2 or 3 times before you can start your own, you can do that. And then don't forget to send the picture of your work, your practical work. You can send it to me on my WhatsApp. And don't forget to share this video. You can click on the share button, and don't forget to comment. So you fold it, can you see it? You fold it. And sew from 0.3 inches. The wideness of your zip flap and your side must be the same. So now we'll move to the gumming part. I'll fix the zip teeth and gum it. That's the next thing to do. And before we move to the gumming part, I know you may not like the zip clothes as long as this, but you just have to, because if you reduce it, you may not be able to open your bag very well. I don't like it like that, but you just have to. So for you to be able to open your bag very well, you need to. Can you see it? So that's why the zip cloth must be SS. Alright, we'll move to the gumming part now. So the next thing to do now is to fix the D-ring on the side. You fix it on the two sides. So I'm not sewing it, I'll pin it. You can sew it. Okay, so I'll measure 2.5. Okay, I'll mark it. So I'll place it. Can you see what I'm doing? I'll place it on it, and then I will check measure the side because it must be in the middle. I have 1 inch. I have 1.3 here, so I will have to move it. Okay, I have 1.1 inches here, and I have 1.1 also. So the next thing now, I will take my puncher. You can use the long puncher or use this one. So I'm using this. I'll place it on it. So if you don't have the candle wax, that's this whiteboard, you can use your table. So I'll use my pin. Okay, you press it down very well, then you take the cover. So this is it. So now I'll fix the second one. So that's what I'm doing. You also measure your 2.5 inches. When you measure the 2.5 inches, you mark it. And the distance will be 1.1 inches. You mark it. So now now I'll fix the long handle. So this is the long handle and this is the hanger. So this I'll fix it. Can you see it? Okay, you can sew it on your machine. You can also use pin. So I'll punch it now because I'm using pin. You can use plier or use your hammer. So when you want to fix the adjuster, now I want to fix the adjuster. So you have to set it very well so that you don't fix it upside down. This is my adjuster. Before you fix the second unless if the handle is short, the long handle if it's short. So if can you see it? It enter here. So from here, now I'll turn it. Can you see it? So now this is it. To pin it down, or if you want to sew it, don't sew it with this upper side. You don't sew it or you don't pin it with this upper. If you pin it with this upper side, you won't be able to adjust it. So you have to pin it with this down. You pin it. This is where you pin it. You pin it with this. Can you see it? I don't pin it with this upper side. If you pin it with this upper side, you won't be able to adjust it. So I pin it with this side. So now the next thing to do is that we'll fix the zip teeth. After fixing the zip teeth, we'll fix the stopper. So to fix the zip teeth, you join the flap together. Can you see what I'm doing? You make sure it is equal. Okay. Then you take your zip teeth. So can you see it is not equal? So I will have to remove the zip teeth again and fix it. So it must be on the same line. It must not be like this. So I will have to remove it. I'll reduce this. So now I'll join it together and put it on. Okay. So this is it. Perfect. Now we have it on the same line. Okay, so the next thing that we do now is to cut my stopper. So for the stopper, I will cut a little leather, a small leather. Then I will use a super glue to glue it. So let me measure it. Okay, this is 1 inches by 2.1 inches. You can cut 1 inches by 2 inches. Okay, so Now you check that we have different brand for the gum. So if you don't see this brand, you can get another brand. It's still the same thing. Okay. So I'll fold the tip of the zip closed. I'll take my stopper. I'll first of all apply super glue on it. Then I'll take my stopper. I'll apply super glue inside. Then I'll fold it. Need to be careful. So you press it down. So this is it. So now we'll fix the bottom on the marco. We'll fix the bottom. So to fix the bottom, you take your marco, okay, this is it. This the bottom. To fix the bottom, I'll measure 1 inches by the tip, 1 inches by 0.5 inches, 1 inches. Okay, the wideness of the bag is 8 inches, so I'll measure 0.7 inches, 0.7 inches, 0.7 inches by 0.5 inches, 0.7 inches by 0.5 inches. Then I'll punch it. I'm doing the same thing on the four side. Zero 0.7 by 0.5 inches. So this is the bottom. You turn it, then you fix the bottom inside the hole. If you don't have bottom, you can leave the bag like that, but you need to get the bottom in the market. And the bottom has different shape. It has different shape. Okay, so this is it. Then you turn it and open. I hope you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so the next thing to do now is to fix the side. We'll fix the side. Okay, so that's the next thing to do. This is the side. You apply gum round here. So that's what I want to do now. And then you apply gum on the side, the excess side. You apply gum on it. You don't apply gum here, you apply gum on the excess. Okay, that's what I'm doing. I hope you can see what I'm doing very well. wait for some minutes. So let me stand up so that okay. Now can you see it? You take your side. Okay, this is the side. Let me turn so that the fixing can face the camera very well. Can you see what I'm doing? You take the side where you sew, that's where you place it. Can you see it? On the bottom. When you place it on the bottom of the bag, okay? So the sewing will be on the side also. You can open the zip. Okay. That's what I'm doing. So now, this open part, you apply gum on it. You apply gum on it. You check if there's open part on the other side. You apply gum also. So you wait. Okay. This is how it should be. Okay. Can you see it very well? Now the second side. We'll fix the second side. So we apply gum on the second side also. Okay. So you apply gum on this one also. So now you wait for some minutes. Okay. So while we're waiting, you trim. You need to trim it. And while trimming it, you need to be careful so you don't over trim it. It's already forming the four corner. Okay, can you see the side? If the zip flap is wider than the side, it will affect the side, and if it is smaller than the side, you may need to, if the zip flap is smaller than the side, this is how you have it. You have excess, you have to lose this place and reduce it, you shape it. So because it's 3.5 as you can see, so that's why you need to work very well on your zip flap. Now we'll fix the second side. Okay, we'll do the same thing. Where we sew is where the bottom will be. Place it on it. Okay, you can open. Yeah. Just all right. Okay, we're almost there. So this is it. We'll trim this one, this part also. Trim it. Now, this is it. Okay. The next thing to do now is to fix the main body. You fix the marco and the carry board together. So that's the next thing to do. The next thing to do now is to join this carry board and the marco together. I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me? Okay. So you place it, and I hope you can see what I'm doing. Okay. So can you see the marco very well? Okay, let me turn it like this so that you can see it very well. Okay. Can you see it very well? Let me adjust the camera. Perfect. Okay. Now you apply your gum on the. Before that, all right. So you can trim this one. Okay. Here's what I'm trimming. The excess of the handle. Now I will apply gum on the bottom and the back, because I'll start from the back. I hope you can see what I'm doing. Apply gum. Okay. So you take your carry board also, you apply gum on it. You apply gum on the back and the bottom. So after that, wait for some minutes. Okay. So now you place the bottom on the bottom of the carry board on the bottom of the marco. That's what you do. The next thing to do, place it carefully. Okay. Okay. That's why when you're trying to gum your leather or your marco, you don't gum it on where you use punch to mark, because when you are trying to do the finishing, you need that line that will serve as a marker to know where the front, the back, the bottom. Okay. So So after placing it, you do it like this to be sure that okay, it's accurate. Then you bring this also. Okay. So now to gum it, you place this side. Okay. You place this also. That is. Then put your hand inside to press it down very well. So for the other part, you do the same. So you can trim this. You apply gum on this part also. Apply it. We're almost done. Okay. Don't forget that you need to send your practical work to me after watching the video and you make your own. So you wait for some minutes. Okay. So now you fix the okay, this is it. So here we are. Okay. The next thing to do now is that all these parts will apply super glue to glue all the parts. So that's what we do now. Okay. Next thing to do now is that we'll fix our chain on it. This will serve as design. So you open fix it on your earring. You use your plier. You can add more. Okay. You can make it to be 2. You can make it to be 2. Okay. You can make it 1 or make it 2, depending on how you want it. So this is a long angle. Fix your long angle. Okay. Fix the other side also. Okay. Start carrying your bag. Next thing to do is to go and sell the bag, or you start carrying your bag. Okay. Thank you for watching.